As one of the most fearsome women on the square, there are not many people who have taken on Suki in one, so Nicola may end up regretting taking her on after the pair have a run-in next week. Suki is in a state of heightened emotions as the week begins, as it is the anniversary of her son Jag's death. After Suki and wife Eve Panasaranwin, Heather Peace, help her other son Vinny Panasar, Shiv Jalota, move in with his pregnant girlfriend Penny Branning, Kitty Castledine, mother and son end up having an argument when Vinny accuses Suki of not caring about the significance of the anniversary. Following a heart-to-heart, Suki returns home, where Eve picks up on her upset. She continues to carry the weight of this to work at the Minute Mart, where she has a run-in with Nicola. The following day marks not only Jag's anniversary, but the day Suki and Eve are due to go before the adoption panel in the hopes of finally realizing their dream of becoming parents together. However, Suki's temper is still flaring following her confrontation with Nicola, and when the panel questions Suki about her relationship with her other children, it all becomes too much for her, and she flees the meeting. With Suki and Eve's chances of adopting hanging by a thread, Eve goes to drown her sorrows at Harry's barn. But when Nicola rubs salt in the wound by bad-mouthing Suki, Eve sees red and lashes out in defense of her wife. Given Eve has previously served time for assault, is Nicola about to learn a very violent lesson? Walford had seen its fair share of feuds, but few residents would willingly pick a fight with Suki Panasar. Sharp, calculating and never one to back down, Suki had built a reputation for winning battles before they even began. Unfortunately for Nicola, that reputation meant very little. Ever since arriving in Albert Square, Nicola had made it her mission to prove she wasn't intimidated by anyone. She had challenged locals, inserted herself into community disputes, and spoken her mind regardless of the consequences. While some admired her confidence, others quietly wondered how long it would take before she crossed the wrong person. That moment arrived on a chilly Tuesday morning. The trouble started at the Minute Mart. Suki was behind the counter reviewing invoices when Nicola stormed in carrying a stack of papers. Her expression alone was enough to make nearby customers step aside. "Funny how some people think they own this place," Nicola announced loudly. Suki barely looked up. "Good morning to you too." Nicola slapped the documents onto the counter. "I've been looking into the community development proposal. Care to explain why your business stands to gain the most?" The shop fell silent. Suki slowly removed her glasses and fixed Nicola with a calm stare. "Are you accusing me of something? If the shoe fits." Several customers exchanged nervous glances. They knew exactly where this was heading. Suki folded her arms. "Be careful, Nicola. Throwing around accusations without evidence rarely ends well." Instead of backing down, Nicola leaned closer. "Maybe someone finally needs to stand up to you." The atmosphere turned icy. Suki's eyes narrowed. "Trust me. Plenty of people have tried." Nicola smirked. "Well, maybe they weren't as determined as I am." For a split second, a smile appeared on Suki's face. Not a friendly smile. The kind that warned a storm was coming. "Then I suppose we'll find out." The confrontation spread across Walford within hours. By lunchtime, residents were discussing it in the cafe, the pub, and even outside the laundrette. Most shared the same opinion. Nicola had made a serious mistake. Even those who disliked Suki admitted she was a formidable opponent. She played the long game. While others relied on shouting matches and dramatic scenes, Suki preferred strategy. And strategy was exactly what she began planning. The following day, Nicola noticed something strange. Meetings she expected to attend were suddenly cancelled. Business contacts stopped returning her calls. A local supplier unexpectedly withdrew from a deal she had been negotiating. At first, she dismissed it as coincidence. Then another opportunity vanished. And another. Soon frustration turned into suspicion. She confronted a former business associate outside the cafe. "What's going on?" The woman hesitated. "Maybe people are nervous." "Nervous about what?" The answer came after a long pause. "You've made enemies." Nicola's expression darkened. "Meaning Suki?" The woman didn't reply. She didn't need to. Later that evening, Nicola marched straight to number 41. When Suki answered the door, she looked entirely unsurprised. "You again? What have you done?" Suki raised an eyebrow. "That's a broad question. People are avoiding me." "Really?" Don't play games. Suki sighed. I'm not responsible for every decision people make. You've been talking about me. I've been talking to plenty of people. Nicola's jaw tightened. There it is. Arrogance. What? Suki stepped forward. No, Nicola. What you're seeing is experience. The words landed harder than Nicola expected. For the first time, uncertainty flickered across her face. Suki noticed immediately. You walked into this thinking you understood how things work around here. I do. No, you don't. The silence between them became unbearable. Then Suki delivered the final blow. You mistake confidence for power. They're not the same thing. Nicola stormed away furious. But deep down, a small part of her wondered if Suki was right. The days that followed only made matters worse. Every attempt Nicola made to regain control seemed to backfire. When she organized a community meeting, attendance was embarrassingly low. When she tried to rally support against Suki, people listened politely before finding excuses to leave. Even those who privately agreed with her concerns were reluctant to get involved. Nobody wanted to be caught in the middle, especially not when Suki was involved. Meanwhile, Suki remained calm. She carried on with her daily routine as though nothing had happened. That composure frustrated Nicola more than anything. She wanted a reaction. She wanted anger. Instead, Suki gave her patience. And patience was proving impossible to defeat. One evening, tensions finally exploded. The Queen Vic was busy when Nicola arrived. Spotting Suki seated across the room, she made a beeline for her table. Conversations instantly died down. Everyone sensed drama. Enjoying yourself? Nicola demanded. Suki looked up from her drink. Very much. Of course you are. Shouldn't you be somewhere else? The remark drew a few uncomfortable laughs. Nicola's face reddened. You think you've won. Suki took a sip of her drink. I'm not competing. Liar. No, Nicola. Suki stood. The entire pub watched. You declared war on me for no reason. There was a reason. You wanted attention. Gasps echoed around the room. Nicola looked stunned. Then furious. You don't know anything about me. I know enough. Suki's voice remained steady. You see every disagreement as a battle. Every challenge as a personal attack. That's not true. It is. For once, Nicola had no immediate response. The silence felt deafening. Suki softened slightly. Only slightly. You're not fighting me anymore. What's that supposed to mean? It means you're fighting yourself. The word struck deeper than anyone expected, including Nicola. She opened her mouth to argue. Nothing came out, because somewhere inside, she knew there was truth in what Suki was saying. The pub remained silent. No one dared interrupt. Finally, Nicola laughed bitterly. You really think you've got me figured out? No. Suki picked up her handbag. I just think you're afraid. Afraid of being ignored. The comment hit its target. Nicola's confident mask cracked. Only for a moment. But it was enough. Suki noticed. So did everyone else. Without another word, Suki walked away, leaving Nicola standing alone. The following morning, Walford was buzzing. People debated every detail of the showdown. Most agreed on one thing. Nicola had met her match. For perhaps the first time since arriving in the square, she had encountered someone who refused to be intimidated. Someone who understood exactly how to get under her skin. And someone who had exposed vulnerabilities Nicola worked hard to hide. Days later, Nicola sat alone in the cafe. The fight had drained her. She replayed every conversation with Suki. Every warning. Every challenge. Every uncomfortable truth. Maybe she had underestimated her opponent. Maybe she had allowed pride to cloud her judgment. Or maybe Suki had simply seen through her faster than anyone else ever had. As she stared out the window, she noticed Suki walking across the square. Their eyes met briefly. Neither smiled. Neither waved. But something had changed. The hostility had cooled. Not disappeared. Just changed. Because while Nicola might never admit defeat, she now understood something important. Taking on Suki Panesar came at a cost. And next time she picked a fight, she'd think twice before choosing her opponent. After all, some people in Walford weren't just difficult to beat. They were impossible. And Suki Panesar was one of them. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to EastEnders Spoilers Official.